Hey, what's going on, people? Knowledge here. If you guys hear any thumping or banging, just ignore it. I'm getting my roof redone on my home, so it's a lot of noise going on. But before I get into my commentary, I want to send my condolences out to the family and friends and the victims of the Vegas shooting that took place last night. For you guys that follow me on social media, you know that I actually was in Vegas last night, and I was out there conducting some business with an artist. And, after I got done with my business, I'm in Vegas. You want to turn up a little bit, have a good time. So I decided to go out with some co-workers, met up with some old friends out there. And I literally was across the street from the shooting 20 minutes before it took place. And, I was out there, just having a good time or whatever. And I decided to go back to my room because, I was basically getting tired. It had been a long day. So I just say, I'm just retired to my room or whatever. And literally 20 minutes later, right across the street, a mass shooting took place. And it took place by, this cat named Stephen Paddock. Now, what gets me about people like Stephen Paddock is that if you have things going on in your life, if you're depressed, whatever, you just mad at the world, take your own self out. Why do you take it upon yourself to kill 50 people and injure 500? And, the media is saying this is the, the biggest, mass shooting that we've had here in the U.S. I don't know if that's correct or not, but this is what they're reporting. But, despite that, or whether how relevant that is or not, the fact of the matter is that you had 50 people who lost their lives. These are people who, had mothers, daughters, sons, husbands, wives, family members, and friends. And, these people lost their lives. But then I'm looking at how the media, is twisting certain things, and they don't want to label this as domestic terrorism. And it seems like, they go with a certain narrative according to what ethnicity you go by. But, it's just... It's said I don't want to get too far up in, the whole race thing because, people did, lose their life in this in a fortunate situation. I'm looking at like, I was right across the street from this. I could have been in there. Who's to say, bullets couldn't have ricocheted off or something, or he could have aimed the gun towards my area. So, it was black folks out there, white, Hispanic, green, blue, and purple. So anybody could have been, could have had their lives taken last night. But I'm also seeing, how race does play a part into this and how the media is, going with a certain narrative. And then, I saw Trump this morning, pretending like he cared, talking about, this is an evil act or whatever. Yeah, it was evil, but, he's part of the reason to why a lot of this stuff is going on. And, last week, you had everybody who was saying, oh, well, why are these NFL players out here protesting and locking arms and everything? Just play the game and, and blah, blah, blah. But the same people this week are saying we all need to come together. We need to lock arms and unify because of this mass shooting here. So, it just goes to show the hypocrisy that we have here in this country. People have selective outrage. People play both sides according to what fits their theme at the moment. But, again, my condolences go out to the people who were involved. This is a very unfortunate situation. And those who, hit my phone up or hit me up through social media, checking on me to make sure I was cool, I greatly appreciate that. It's nice to have people that actually give a damn about you, in this cruel world. But I do, deeply appreciate everybody reaching out and making sure I was cool. In a minute, I found out, the mass shooting was going on, I rented me a car and I drove back to LA because I had a flight that was booked this morning. But, in my mind, I was like, well, who's to say a joker won't pull a stunt at the airport? And then with everything going on, I knew the airports was going to be crazy. A lot of, flights got shut down because of everything that's going on. So I just say, the hell with it. I'll drive that 4-hour drive back to LA. So, I immediately got out of there because, we don't know if at the time we didn't know he was the only shooter, if this was some type of outside terrorist, influential thing we didn't know. So, my first thought was just to get out of Vegas immediately. I'll take the drive. But, I am safe. Again, thanks to everybody. My condolences go out to the victims. But, we live in a wild world, man. And if we don't change things, and we don't start reprimanding people who, are bringing evil amongst us all, we're going to end up in a pitfall. But I'm out. Peace.